Hello and welcome to this episode of the Ranting Atheist podcast. Today on Story of an Atheist, we'll be listening to the conversion story of a Nigerian atheist. And this in particular, this is the first ex-Muslim to share a story on this podcast. So it was really enlightening because I am very ignorant on Islam, even though I have always thought it was bullshit as a Christian. So one thing I learned that the irony is that a lot of Muslims are very well aware of the Bible, way more than Christians, which is is ironic but understandable since Islam is a spin-off of the Bible. If you're yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing on Apple, Spotify, Google, YouTube, or any other place you get podcasts from. So please enjoy the deconversion story of K. Hello, bro, and you are welcome to Story of an Atheist.
Hello, thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I don't know how to be formal, but I'm good.
You don't have to be formal.
Formal. That's all.
We'll start formal, then we'll switch it to any as they go now. The spirit leads.
No.
So we'll go package small before.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. Thank you for accepting my cry for help. You know, since I started.
Thanks for inviting me.
Since I started this, I have not been able to speak with an ex-Muslim, basically, for understandable reasons. Sure you get, so that's why I just have to be like, if anybody is interested, please reach out. I know it's not easy, but please reach out. So now, the listener will be,
go on.
You want to say something now? You'd say it now.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I think mine probably because I'm not in Northerner, even though I'm not in Northerner per se, so
okay.
I'm Yoruba, not just per se. I'm Yoruba, so for me, I think I don't think that pressure is as much, even though I'm not out too.
Okay.
But
Yeah, okay. So can you give us a little intro? Your name that you're comfortable with. What do you do? Obviously, I've said you're an ex-Muslim. Just give us a little brief. What you like us to know about you briefly. What you're comfortable with sharing.
My name is K.
Okay.
I'm a student.
Oh, okay, nice.
I'm a student. Yeah, I stay in Abuja. I think,
That's basically.
That's the. I do work, but I don't want to. So I do.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I work at school right now.
Okay. So now, you're an ex-Muslim. Can you take us on, give us the details of what your Muslim background was like? Give us an insight, especially someone like an ex-Christian like me. I don't really fully understand what it's like being growing up a Muslim, totally ignorant about that. So do your best to educate me about what your own Muslim background was like.
My Muslim background, I think initially when we were a lot younger, it was just because we stayed in Maiduguri, Kano. I was born in Kaduna, but then we moved to Maiduguri and Kano. Anyway, for the earlier parts of my life, we were just average Muslims, to be honest. Like, my dad was always quite religious, but it wasn't that deep. But we're just average. But we prayed 5 times daily and all that.
Okay.
But then when we moved to Abuja, my dad met this group, this sect of Islam they call Tabligh. I'm sure some Muslims will know them. Not all Muslims know them, but some people will know them. So these people are quite deep. They are very deep, very, very deep. They are like the people you call, what's it called? Fundamentalists. Something like that. They are very, very close to that because they take it very, very deep, and they try their best to really be like, they call themselves Al-Sunnah, which means followers of Sunnah, more like people that follow the doings of the Prophet.
Okay.
So they really, really want to. That's actually the Islamic teaching in general, is to be like the Prophet. It's like the perfect example for man and all. But the average Muslim says it pays lip service to it, but it's not actively working to it. But these people are actively working to it. That's why I see them. They're the ones that have these beards and their trousers is like by their ankle and all that they really because that's how the prophet dressed and said it's the best way to dress. That's it. Yeah, their wives, their women and wives wear hijabs
The full
and
cover one
niqab.
or
Niqab is cover their face and
only their
also
eyes that we can see.
that
Some
so my some will cover their hands with socks, with gloves and their legs with socks and that.
damn.
So my dad joined them. He's still with them to now and then he became that's when the Islam really, really started hitting in our house. Everybody started wearing hijab. There's something they call outing. It's more like expeditions. To be honest, they call it outing, but we go and preach basically.
Oh.
It's like okay, so you see they the same way you see that's where like religion is funny. You see the same way you see in Christianity where you see all these churches have some sects of Christianity, they've redefined what Christianity is to be what they want it to be.
Yeah.
Same thing with these people. So these people, they'll tell you that what that jihad is not only fighting physically and going to kill people and they'll say that Islam has progressed. At the time of the Prophet, jihad was fighting with the sword and all. But now those people have planted Islam with their blood. That this time now, what we are supposed to do is to water Islam with our words. So they believe in preaching, basically, and they think preaching is the same thing as jihad. In fact, they think it's literally the same thing to the extent that they think if you die in the act of preaching, they actually evangelize. They go around although they do it's a very weird thing they do to be honest because their own preaching is more to Muslims than non-Muslims. They go around preaching to Muslims. They go around preaching to Muslims, reminding them to be better Muslims because at the end of the day we all know both Muslims, Christians, religious people on an average it's lip service they pay to their religion, the average religious person. And Islam, they like to think their religion is a way of life and you should always live according to the religion fully. How you sleep, how you so they want to incorporate that into their lives and every other person's life. So they go around talking to Muslims and saying they have to remind Muslims to be true Muslims, that type of stuff. So they do that preaching a lot. So we too got, of course, our dad was involved that normal. We had to join too, we're doing it. So we did it we're doing that. I've even I've gone for 40 days of this outing. It's an expedition to be honest, but they call it outing. I've gone for 40 days of it. I went to Abakaliki and Nuku. We go to mosques. We're sleeping in the mosques. For 40 days, we'll be sleeping in the mosques. We're sleeping in the mosques. We'll be preaching to anybody that comes to the mosques. Mornings, we walk out, go to the road, preach to some people. Sometimes we talk to some non-believers sometimes, but mainly the target is Muslims. Wow. So that's religion. That was very deep.
Wow. So
then like that,
how was your relationship with Allah or the teachings? Like, were you?
No one. See, I sometimes because personally, I have this. I don't remember things well. I forget easily. So like my past is always very blurry to me. But when I think back at what I did, I'm not sure because I sometimes feel like I was just going with the emotion. But I deeply believed it. I don't know if it sounds contradictory.
It kind of makes sense,
like I was sure Islam was right. Like, of course, like definitely. I once went to a Christian school. I didn't even know that school was Catholic. I went to a Christian school at some point, and for my GS2 and GS3, I went to a Christian school, boarding school, and then I feel like because before then I was staying in the north, and even the school I was going in Abuja here was an Islamic school. So everybody I knew was a Muslim. I know. So going there, I was faced by people that are not Muslims. I mean, I was even a minority in that school. Most of them were Christians. And then I started arguing, like, because for me, first of all, I can't remember what I used to argue then. All I know is that I just used to argue with people that I used to argue Christians and their religion is wrong. I don't think any of them ever challenged me about mine, but I used to argue theirs that theirs is wrong. So I kept doing that. I don't know what I ever used to argue. That. I just know I used to argue with them, man. Because me, my own life, arguments and talking is my hobby. But I feel like there are two factors that is recently, in fact, this recently is probably like a month ago or 2 months ago, or from weeks ago, sir, that I realized that maybe this was the factor. So I left Nigeria after secondary school.
Okay.
And I think that was what led to my atheism, to be honest. Because because nothing about my environment there was atheist or non-belief or nothing or irreligious, nothing. Because everybody in the country I was and the people around me, they were still religious and all.
Yeah.
But now I begin to think that I think it's the space I had. I think the space,
It's always that
I was
space.
not bombarded with. Yeah, I think just not being bombarded by that religious thing every day, every minute.
Pray 5
I
times
think gave me time to
go
start.
to mosque.
Yeah, exactly. And my own religion was my own the way we were doing it was not just praying itself. We'll pray in the morning, they'll read hadith to you, we'll read hadith in the mosque, they'll preach to you every morning. So like with these tabligh people, they have a like a schedule of how you live your life because they are trying to
Control.
structure their life to be like they are trying to structure their lives to be like the prophet's life. They like to say like other Muslims have forgotten what Islam truly is, so they think they are trying to really incorporate the true Islam into their lives.
This is so funny.
So they have these things where I'm telling you,
Christians do
so they
what you
pray
say
in the
too.
morning. I know that these people they never see the parallels between themselves now. They are the same thing now. So we pray in the morning, they'll preach to you after Fajr. That's the first prayer in the morning. After Fajr they'll preach. They'll do Fajr Bayan. That's what they call it. I'm dead. I fucking miss those things actually now that I say it. So yeah, Fajr Bayan. They'll do so a lot of that. So I think when I went out of the country for a long time, I didn't stay long before I started thinking about it. So I think this because these people they have one doctrine of they're always preaching about God and saying God is all powerful and all knowing, he knows everything, there's nothing God cannot do. I have the way they used to say it in Yoruba, because most of them are Yoruba. There's the ones around. It's just preaching it. Yeah, kò sí tọ́lọ́run lè ṣe.
Is there love involved? Is there love involved?
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You see, Islam there's no much of that. Yeah, they are saying God is good, but they don't usually do this God is love thing that Christianity like. It's not. They almost really teaching it to you that it's like I think the idea is more like God is just here and he does good. He's not an evil person, but he's a king. He's a dictator. He's like an authority.
Sovereign.
It's not this way. Is my daddy. No, it's not your daddy. It's your master
Lord,
and your
God.
They literally say
your king.
Yeah, it's just that it's like a just master.
Yeah.
That's the idea. So this God is love thing. I did not grow up. That's Christianity is now. They'll tell like my dad will literally tell you that like if God like I remember because when I started questioning, I didn't ask him like I had doubts but like I used to just because he's just people and my dad is also very outspoken and thinks he's very intelligent. That's what he thinks of himself. So he and most people they like to think, oh, ask me questions. Any religious person will be they like to believe they can answer any question. That's what they like to believe about themselves. So I used to ask him question. My dad literally told me one day that if a farmer, this was the analogy example he gave, that if a farmer has a farm and has chickens on the farm and he decides to kill one of the chicken one day, is he bad? Like is he not his own? Like this, like analogous to like God doing whatever he wants to do with us.
Wow.
That's to say that's the type of idea of God he has. Like it's just an authority. It's not about he loves you, you love him. No, it's
Fuck
not
you
that.
all, man. I do what I want to do.
I'm telling you, fuck you and your God. Anyway, so I feel like the distance. So the first thing that popped in my head that started my crash was the idea of God Himself, and it was this idea of destiny. Because in Islam, yeah, this is the that thing. I told they always used to preach, "Oh, God is good. God knows everything.
Yeah.
Anything that will happen is by the." They will even tell you that no leaf will drop from a tree that God does not know about. There is
Wow.
nothing that will happen that is not under His control. Something. So you see that preaching. When they were preaching, when I was immersed in it, I did not think it. I didn't see the problem. But when I left Nigeria on my own, don't forget this is something they've put me in. Like I've been doing this thing. My dad had joined this thing since maybe I was in just one or something. Then I left Nigeria when I was not around, and I didn't have to be going for outings anymore. These thoughts started come to my head, and then I realized the conflict, and it was that how can they tell me that God is because they really beat this God is in total control and knows everything and decides everything before you were born. Islam will even tell you there's actually a hadith of the Prophet that says um, 40 days before you were born or something, the angel will come and decide and write everything you will do and when you will die, your
Oh.
full destiny and everything. So I started looking at it. So wait, if God knows all these things and He decided this, why are we praying? Why is He sending us to hell? Is He just writing this thing and like so we don't have any control? So what's this whole
What's the
praying
point?
now? Like if you get yeah, what's the point? Like so this guy just decides everything and he's perfect. He knows everything. He knows the future and what he has written. So why am I here praying today that God please let me wake up tomorrow? When before I was born, I decided when I would die. So whether I pray or not, it cannot change what He has decided now. Trust me, this was it.
Wow.
For the first like 1 year of my because see, I was in isolation and I didn't talk to anybody. Okay, no, not that I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't research things. I did not and I don't know why I was not in Nigeria. I had access to internet. I was already almost 80s before I started going to YouTube. I was just doing this mental gymnastics in my head. I remember I was sometimes just in my head thinking about it, trying to make it make sense. I literally used to pray to God because I was convinced so much that even though I had this thought and I could see the problem, I kept telling myself because there's also my religion has fear tactics that help
Yes,
them stay
now.
in place. So there's also this hadith in Islam that says anybody that like being a Muslim and going to heaven is like a gift from God. And that you need to like we need to keep praying to God that may God make us go to heaven because
Wow.
if you are not one that God wants to go to heaven, you can't like it's not by your power you make heaven basically. So I started thinking that, more like this is like maybe I'm actually one of those people that are going to hell, and that's why this is sound like this to me. So I really
Wow.
need to pray to God to just like I swear I didn't even think I needed. I wanted it to make sense. I wanted the thought to leave my mind. That was my initial hope. I just wanted to, but I could not help it. Unfortunately, my brain did not. If I really had a switch, if the brain works in such a way that I can just choose this thought and this thought, okay, delete folder, never ever ever think about it again. I want to have been an atheist today. But I could not help it. And then I started talking to some people. I started talking to my friends. I was talking to my brother in particular at the time. He was trying his mental
Younger or
gymnastics
senior?
and my elder brother.
Okay. You two used
He
to
was trying his
preach.
mental gymnastics. Yeah, we are. Although, hallelujah, everybody in my house. All the children are all atheists, all thanks to me. So I've done my job well,
Eh.
except our last one. I really, all my siblings, we're rolling in the fire together. So yeah, except it's crazy because my house is still as religious as this,
Everybody
and
did
yet
these
all the
guys.
children are atheists. During lockdown, when we were at home, we literally because we were at home, so we didn't need to go to mosque because of lockdown. So we used to pray 5 times daily prayer together. Everybody was
Oh
at home
boy.
together. It's crazy because we're all atheists. and then we had to be praying 5 times daily prayer together in the house. So
Torture.
we'll just be laughing. Touch. See, it was mostly fun, but stressful too because it's 5 times. And look at. See, let me not even go. Let me just continue. I digress. Let me continue with the conversion. So yeah, I said asking questions. I asked my dad. Even at some point, gave me one tip because, of course, me and you know that this question there is no way to resolve it. We know this, but they because they think it's perfect, so they are trying. And at the time, I was still open-minded to it because at the time, even though it didn't make sense to me, I was hoping it would make sense. I was hoping I'll be wrong. I was hoping I'm missing something.
You were finding a way
There's
back.
a way this thing adds up. Yeah, I was really well. Even when I finally started watching videos, all I used to Google is Muslim destroys atheists. That's why I found Mohammed Hijab earlier on. And then Googling Muslim, and then Muslim atheist argument destroyed. Oh, I wanted to see a Muslim win. I wanted to see a atheist win because that was what I wanted to be true at the time. It's just that I don't know how they do it because me, whether I want it to be true or not, if the argument doesn't make sense, my brain will still realize it doesn't make sense. I will just still want it deeply in my heart. But for religious people, that's how it works. If they want it to be true, no matter how ridiculous it is, it will be true to them. I didn't have that power. It's a superpower they have to be honest. Unfortunately,
the way their mind is programmed, like one enter my DM on Instagram. I was like, it was not like I was not saying that how do you know which God is correct? It was not like there's only one God. All other are human misconceptions. I was like, I said, how do you know your own is not
which one is
a human
God?
Now, how did you verify your own God is not a human misconception?
That's the question. Yeah, just funny. Yeah, just funny. And so so I just started. I was really unraveling at the time. I was trying to. I didn't know what to do. So I continued so far. The time and okay. So when I now started, because then I was giving up because I've asked, and every time anybody tries to talk, they are capping. They are saying is it that they are not? Most they have this superpower. Another superpower they have is ask them questions and they just want to preach and ignore your question and act like they're answering your question.
And
then when you interrupt, they'll say, they'll change the topic. When you interrupt, they'll say, they are not letting me talk. Bro, you are talking, but you're just preaching to me. You're not answering what I'm asking. You're not addressing the problem. So I noticed that was what was going on. Everybody was just capping. So at some point, I already closed my mind that, I was already deciding that I'm probably right. It's actually a problem here. It's not just me. It's not any. So at that point, I was on my way out already. I was already seeing a lot of problems. Then boom, I decided to start YouTube, trying to save myself with YouTube. That was what now buried it. I watched debates and I realized because for me it's not even about who looks like they won in the debate for me. It's about what the two of them said and for me who made points. Because sometimes because if you even watch someone like Mohammed Hijab, it's the way he can just bully his debate opponents. He's a fool. But I'm listening to the points and not who looks like he's denominator. It doesn't matter who, if you talk and you have the last word and you look like, the other person could not say something. It doesn't mean you made more sense. Yeah. I was listening to the content of what they're saying, not how your antics as Mohammed Hijab likes doing. So, listening to debates and all this thing just made me realize that. And that was the final straw for me. That was the final straw. I started at that point, I knew I was atheist. This is long ago. I've been atheist now for I've been atheist for 7 years or 8 years now. Me. I just don't know me. And at all. I never did. As I said, I became an atheist in isolation. I did not have anybody around me. Everybody around me disagreed. And I groomed it in my chest for long before I even expressed it out or researched it. It was just me, and I don't know why I did that. Although I don't like reading in general. That's one of my major problems in life. I don't like reading, so
not alone.
And I didn't know why. I don't know why I did not think of searching it on YouTube or online. Once I started, so then I fell in love with the whole debate. Till today, I still listen to this. You think so if you look at my life today, someone would think I'm like a new atheist, but I've been atheist for 8 years now. Like, so it's just. But the reason I feel like me, I'm staying to the conversation because me, I'm in love with philosophy. So
Okay.
it's just an interesting conversation for me because if not, my sister. That time we used to talk about it together. Now she doesn't care again. She has it's rubbish, it's rubbish. Living her life without it. For me, I just feel like it's not really because I disagree, it's because I love the conversations. I love conversations about anything.
Nice, nice.
So I feel like I've been talking. I told you I talk a lot. You see, I haven't talked.
No, I'm feeling it. You were saying something about hell. You know, one of the things that shocked me when I was deconverting was finding out that Muslims also have a hell. I had no fucking idea. So please,
Really?
yes, a lot of Christians don't have an idea that Muslims also believe in.
I noticed this thing you are saying that I don't know, maybe because me, I don't know, but like Christians seem to not know anything about Islam,
Yes,
and I don't know how that is because me, I'm a Muslim, but I have a very basal
idea of Jesus,
elementary idea of
the Bible,
of Jesus, of Christianity. Yeah, like
it's a firewall system. They don't want people to look to that side because they go cast.
Yeah. Islam is hell.
What's the hell like? Describe the concept and what makes you go to hell or that concept, because let's see whether it's even similar.
Islam, let me just tell you the major concept of Islam. Islam, hell. As long as you are not a Muslim, at least after the Prophet, since the Prophet came, their Prophet Muhammad, since he came, after him, anyone that did not accept him as the Prophet of Allah and that there is only one God, you are going to hell. Nothing, no, don't drag it with anybody. You are going to hell. Now, Muslims, anyone that now has that iman, they call it, if you have that belief in the prophets and Allah and the prophet, if you have that belief, now you are the one that will be judged on the day of judgment. You see, once everybody should die. Okay, first of all, before I go on, let me make this clause.
Okay.
And is that in Islam, there's hadith and there's the Quran.
Yeah.
And the hadith is very, very debatable. The Quran does not contain many of the doctrines. Many of the doctrines, to be honest, at least in details, it does not. So many of the doctrines of and the details of the doctrines, at least, are found in hadith. But now you see the thing with the hadith now is that Muslims, I don't know if this is even true a sincere process, I don't know, and most Muslims don't too. But there are some hadiths that they'll say some are, they call them da'if or sahih hadith, which means strong or weak hadith. And so it depends. So sometimes there's hadith like I might say something now. What I'm saying is that I might say something now, and one Muslim will say no, it's not in Islam. But that's just because he does not his own however he's judging hadith to be da'if or sahih. He's deciding that it's a weak hadith and he does not accept the hadith. Something like that. It might be. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not even. It might be. I'm kind of convinced it is, to be honest. But I'm just trying to say, like, whether it's speaking or not, I don't know the process, and it's not just me as an atheist that doesn't know the process. 90% of Muslims do not know the process. They don't know how they decide this. It's just somebody will tell them this it's weak at this, and they believe. 90% of Muslims, that's what it is. Because how do you know it's weak? Because they told you it's weak. How do you know it's strong? So anyway, what I was raised to believe, my own people, what they used to say is that as long as you are not a Muslim, on the day of judgment, yes, everybody, one God will on the other, animals, all of them, they'll turn to sand. Okay, no, they have judgment. Sorry, wait, they have judgment. Their own judgment is very, yes, God will judge them too. This is what they taught me growing up. They say that on the day of judgment, animal life, for example, a goat that hit another goat, God will say that goat should hit him back. Once he hits him, that type of the simple judgment type stuff, like do your own back. After I finish doing that, all of them will just turn them to sand. Yeah, after I finish doing that, that's how we judge the animal. After that, he will turn them to sand and their own has finished.
But what's the point?
The human beings.
They will still end up in sand and you are doing balance. I don't get
it. You want to question Allah. You want to question Allah?
Yeah, Grammy.
Let's go forward. You cannot question Allah, please. That's what he said. He said what he said. And nah.
Hi.
The fact that I believe these things and they do not sound ridiculous, that yeah, it's just that's and this is what I mean by I believe, but I'm not sure if I did. See, when I heard things like this that year, I'm not sure I thought about it and like so it's like to God be trying to telling one ghost. I didn't believe it on that level. But I also did not believe it and I did not find it ridiculous. When you have just been raised with them telling you
It's
ridiculous stories of how God
indoctrination.
molded you. Yeah, how God molded you with sand and
Wow.
made you human. And when you grow up with that, so ridiculous stories don't sound ridiculous anymore.
At all.
That type of stuff. But it's not like I never had a chance to actually think about it and like because I think about the things I believe now. And right now, as I said, I'm very, very philosophical and I love epistemology and anything I believe, I almost can say I can stand anywhere and explain to you my epistemology and how I came to know it's true and why I think it's reasonable to believe it at least. So then and I think many people till today that's how people are to be honest. It's just vibes and inshallah. Like, okay, you believe it, but you're not even thinking about it. There's no plenty thought process there. So that was how I was then. It's just they said it okay. They just said it and it just sat there. I didn't disagree, and of course, it's hadith. So anything hadith says is automatically correct. It's that type of stuff. But I'm not sure because I think about back then. Like, did I really think about someone molding me with sand? And anyway, so the animals will be that will be judged and they'll turn to sand.
Damn.
Then human beings and jinns, by the way. So
Eh?
it's according to Islam, they are
What as in
they are
JINN?
honestly, I think so. Yes,
What are
that's
jinns, please?
but I feel like exactly. I feel like the connotation of jinn in Islam and Christianity might not be the same thing the way they will. Yes, so let me just explain the idea of jinn we have. Yeah, jinns are just like you see the way we are in this world.
Yeah.
There are other entities too, and those are jinns. They are the two that are that live in this world. And like for example, there are jinns that are good and bad the same way they are bad and good human beings. I think they are probably Muslim jinns and non-believer jinns too. So
I
they
mean,
too, they
like
are just like
spirits
us.
or demons or
Yeah, like spirits, but yeah, but it's like spirits sometimes could mean like it's a human being spirit. No, this one they are entities of their own.
okay.
They are not you get so they live their own lives like alongside us in this world. We just can't see them.
Oh, parallel
They too
universe.
they will be judged
Okay.
on judgment day. Yeah, they too they will be judged on judgment day according to the bad and good things they too they do. So they too they will go to but some will go to paradise, some will go to hellfire. That
Do they
stuff.
have
So
special
they too they live
powers? Because I watched American Gods.
yes, they do. Yes, they do. At
Oh,
least more than us because they can see us and we can see them and they can possess us.
okay. Oh.
They can possess us. That's why if you come to the north, they do usually get possessed of us. They find it cute.
Hey, I love
They
that.
find it cute. It was, this is where we were small when I'm dead. When we were younger, we used to do this. There are some people that used to do all this lie of, oh, I have ulcer or I have asthma. It was one type of cool sickness. I don't know if when you grew up, they
Like
used to do that. Do you
also
know what I'm talking about? You know?
like
Yeah,
Ajebota
where
kind
it
of
was cool to
disease,
say I have ulcer.
sickness.
Yeah, exactly. That type of stuff. Yeah, having gene too was somewhere on that level where people
Uh
claim they are possessed by gene. In the north, that is it's quite common where people having that gene is a very common thing. Anyway, so the genes too. So for example, the genes that possess human beings are bad genes because they are not supposed to do that. So yeah, they have superpowers on that level because we cannot possess them. So yeah, so on day of judgment, after that, it's after the animals, so it's human beings and genes God is going to judge.
hmm.
So now, human beings, the people that did not believe, I don't know about the people that came for the prophets. I'm sure there is one complicated theology they will do,
How
theological
convenient.
masturbation they will do to explain those ones exactly. But for the one me I know is the we that came after the prophets. As long as you didn't believe in the prophets,
Fire.
There's no judgment for you are going to hell. Now the judgment is for Muslims. Now, by Muslims I mean people that believe in the Prophet
Yeah.
Allah and His Prophet. Those ones now, they will now judge them according to their deeds. They will literally there'll be a scale where they'll put their goods and bad deeds on a scale, and you get whichever one outweighs the other. If the good outweighs the bad, then you are going to paradise. If the bad outweighs.
I know I watched one movie, Gods of Egypt. It sounds so similar to that thing. It's like they co-opted.
No, let me
that.
tell you something. I always used to say this thing, yeah, because me, I know I know a lot about Christianity. Mo was a weirdo. That guy was sick. I'm
A
telling you.
weirdo and a pedo.
Exactly. Like, see, yeah, that guy was just something else. I feel he was very artistic because he has a very, very imaginative mind. Because he says things, he's very graphic with the way he explains things. He will tell you that in the grave, people that are bad, when they put them in the grave, that the grave will squeeze them till their ribs will interlock with each other. Then imagine the way you interlock your fingers with each other.
Yeah.
They said that's how the grave will squeeze bad people that are not religious, people that are bad people when they put them in the grave.
But they are dead.
The grave will squeeze them till their ribs and coming. Like he just very graphic.
Claps together
Or you see that
like hands or like fingers.
Yeah, like fingers interlock into each other. Yeah, that's how of stuff. It's very graphic. And then say there was a snake that is as long as the snake is as long as 70 days journey or something. You see the snake will be smiting you, you'll be going deep down.
Are you sure
It's
that
just
guy
very
has mental issues along with the creativity?
No, see, I don't like me, I don't believe things. I always like to think about why I believe this, but and some things I believe that I know I don't have justification. I kind of know, but I just think it's reasonable, and this is what I mean. I've heard this idea that there were people that thought during the time of Prophet, there were people that thought he had mental health issues. Even during this time, they literally called him a madman.
Yes.
But in Islam, from an Islamic perspective, when they are giving you this gist, they will just be telling you like they were telling you he's a madman because he was going against their gods. That's why they were calling him a madman. But now, if you look at the story and the type of things this guy was capping, it's not far-fetched for you to consider that.
Yes, now. Because there's one, I don't know if it's true. Is it Hadith or Quran where they say he beat up a rock?
I've not heard that before. It could be. I'm not like a Quran scholar.
He beat up a rock because he went to bath. The rock took his robe away when he went to bath, and he had to chase it. And he now called the cut.
But you see, I've not heard this particular hadith, but these are the type of things you hear in hadith. That's why I say it's very ridiculous, and it's crazy how I ever was in this for so long. But I wasn't in it for so long, to be honest. Because I was probably 19 or something, or 18. I was at 19. Before I was 20, I'm sure I was done. I was 20, I was done.
It was just too ridiculous.
Done. So, yeah, it was too ridiculous. And that's the thing, that's the crazy thing, that for me, it was not the ridiculous parts that got me out. It was the contradictory part. It was the fact that these things did not make logical sense. It couldn't add up. That was the problem for me. Like, I didn't have a problem with, it was bad or the prophet was a ped, because I really believed that he's a perfect example. And I had this idea that God knows better than us humans. So, like, if there's actually a God, which I believe there was then, then even if me and you today have this thing in our head where we think God is bad or being a pedo is wrong, we're human beings and we're fallible. So, yes, that was my. In fact, I was this type of person that I literally used to say this, that, all these Boko Haram people, they are not wrong just because me, I don't like what they are doing. I used to say that they are wrong because I don't think God said they should kill people the way they are killing people. I used to literally say that if God actually said, commanded it, then it would have been right, and I would have been doing it too. But of course, I feel like I was just paying lip service to that in just a way to like bolster myself and make me feel like, oh, I really believe in this God. But yeah, that was the type of mindset. So for me, the ridiculous parts like talking snake, all those things, it doesn't matter. I was God. Are you saying you cannot do it? Can't do it now. So for me, those were not my problems. It was the logical part. Like if I could actually, and that's why anytime I see theologians here and apologists bend backwards and do all their mental gymnastics to make these things make sense, and they never do. They just talk. That's why I literally rate the average theist to a theologian or an apologist. I literally do. I think the average theist that does not read, does not care much about this thing. Most of them, I think, are smarter and better than maybe someone like
Exactly.
William and Crazy or something. I find those guys ridiculous. It's not like William and Crazy. I think he's a dumb person. And it stresses me because these people see, or Jordan Peterson.
Oh God,
These people are people think are intellectuals, and they stress me. Like for me, I'm like, what? I used to tell people this, that if I ever become famous here, and maybe I was to have a debate with maybe Jordan Peterson or something, I would literally state it there that the only reason I'm choosing to have this with you is not because I think you are intellectual. This is a deep conversation. It's just because you have the audience and people will listen to this. But if it's that, oh, who would I have a conversation because I'm hoping to learn or have an intellectual conversation? Not you, bro. Like, not Jordan. Like what?
That Jordan Peterson.
I said that guy thought, and I want to throw hands.
I don't know. Because he has some psychological as a psychologist or something. He now uses that to enter religion. I'm not like motherfucker.
Like it will say it's the metaphorical substrate, bro. Get the fuck.
What the fuck? The guy is the champion of word salad.
Beauty. That is just serious word salad. He will act like he's this guy. He will start. He will do like, oh, he's just, these things are just allegorical and it's just metaphorical and all. But then, in some corner way, he will try and talk like it's true again. Which is it? Are you saying it's metaphorical? Because if it's metaphorical, I don't fucking care then. Which means you're agreeing it's not literally true. Then you're an atheist, if that's what you're saying. But no, he wants to find a way from it being metaphorical to it being true. Like, bro, it's one or the other. Like, that's why I like.
There was that one part where he was not crying, saying like it's almost like
I saw that video.
Are you not? Are you
upset
the point that this
and that's why I don't like this boy now. Just because, let me not get on my emotional part because that boy they call Cosmic Skeptic. That boy is a sellout. That was like
what did he do? It's been a while since I watched his video. So you were saying about a Cosmic Skeptic being a sellout. How?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think he has become. I think he likes. I don't know. I don't know if it's because he's studying theology or something. But these days, when you hear him speak, he has this. He tries to make it sound like, oh, he tries to make it be like, oh, like the whole religious thing is not that ridiculous. Like there's like a middle ground somewhere or something. He lets like. And I even look back at some like the time, if you listen, I don't know if you listen to when he had William Lane Craig on, and he even, can you imagine, this guy is so ridiculous. He had the guy on, and he was actually, for me, he made, like Cosmin said, made sense and asked the right questions and all. But recently, he now made another video again recently, pointing out the mistakes he made and the things he didn't understand about what William Lane Craig was saying, and almost validated what William Lane Craig was saying. And he also does this thing where he comes out and says he's not a new atheist. Not that means anything, but you can see him really trying to dissociate himself from all the Matt and Richard Dawkins. I don't think Richard Dawkins is an intellectual genius too, to be honest. For me, to be honest, it's just the people I really like. That, to be honest, like it's just because at the end of the day, I keep saying this whole religion thing, and this whole God thing. It's ridiculous. It's not an intellectual conversation. It's not the people that we don't believe were smart. It's fucking ridiculous. Like it's like, and I hate another thing I hate about the conversation is that what the average is believes working on the street. Not only the average is, even a theologian, even an apologist, what they believe and act on and the way they express their beliefs on a day to day, it is never what they come to defend when they are debating. When they are debating, it becomes this vague idea they want to debate and do, it just must be a false creator, or you get, like, the average is literally believes he want to go out the money and he will pray and God will protect him that day.
They come to prove a deistic God, most of the arguments.
Yes.
And I'm like,
even when they go a bit further than a deistic God, even when they are defending their own beliefs, it's still not what they do. It's just a very insincere conversation. Yeah, and that's why I totally dislike. If not, the only reason I still think the conversation is important is because maybe, like, I'm sure it's probably 90% of the world that believes this thing. So no matter how ridiculous it is, it's a serious conversation because it's not how people that believe it and how strongly they believe it and the impact it has on the world. But man, it's ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. And Thirdly Skeptic now wants to make it sound like he literally gives this Bible. Oh, many of these atheists, people don't really understand the deep theology in these things, and it's not as the way you just like to say these things are stupid. There's more to it. Shut the fuck up. It's stupid. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Don't try and make it sound like. And I think he just likes to. Even if you look at Instagram, he's very happy to be with Jordan Peterson. He loves something. There's something about him.
Yeah, so I don't know. I stopped watching it for a while. I don't know. I just drifted. Not like
I don't like him anymore. He was the love of my life. Now Matt is the love of my life. Although he upsets me sometimes, but
Matt go. They fuck up and say the dragon. The dragon wasn't a while now.
Yeah.
The beauty of this thing is nobody is untouchable.
No, that's the good.
No, I touch not my anointed bullshit. If you fuck up, you drag. Dawkins is being dragged. Sam Harris is being dragged. If Christopher Hitchens was alive, I'm sure that.
You see for me, you see all these Christopher Hitchens, all these Sam Harris. I don't think these people are anything. Actually, about me, just my opinion.
That's what
exactly. Christopher Hitchens in particular was in caps many times. There's a lot of bias in the way he talks. It's just caps. It's just but people like this charisma and all. But like, we are really looking at content and like, if you want to point out fallacies and all and how logical he is, you actually will feel.
It's the boldness, that boldness to just look religion like, fuck you. Alpha, don't tell me say this thing don't go again. So yeah, we will continue. Let's wrap. Maybe just wrap up. So that this network we know this thing. So now, by the time you reach that point, you were atheist. Who did you first tell?
I can't remember a point in particular that I would say.
You're very sure, like you were over the threshold and you're not going back. That's what I mean.
Yeah, and I know, like, I think it was over a process. Like, it was gradual. Yeah. I don't think I can remember. But like what I'm saying, like, I don't know. I just started talking about it a lot, and I think the moment I started watching the videos, most people in my life knew when I was questioning because I used to ask them questions.
Okay.
So it's just that I kept asking, and I can't remember it. But so they already knew I was asking these questions. So I don't think I had to come out and say, I just gradually morphed into it. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah. So
how long have you been atheist?
Maybe
I think I know.
August last year now.
Wow, that was recent.
July, August. I just put it just between June, July, August. I went through that phase of.
I was. Do you know that I was in one room? I'm sorry to say this. I have. Can I say? Okay, no, maybe we'll say this offline.
Okay.
All right, I'll say it.
Okay. Don't mind. All right, final question. Let me do final question so that we'll talk now offline. If now there are people there's someone that might listen to you, they are an ex-Muslim, they are seeing the ridiculousness of the whole doctrine of Islam, whichever variation of Islam they are practicing, but for some inexplicable reason they are still holding.
I can't hear you. You cut off.
Can you hear me now? I
couldn't hear you. I just heard, the last thing I heard was, I can hear you now, but the last thing I heard was variation of Islam.
Okay. What I mean is when, depending on the variation of Islam they are practicing, they are still holding on to the beliefs, even though they can see how ridiculous it is. What advice do you have for them?
Come on. I think for me it's not. I don't know if I have advice for particularly Muslims. I would just advise. My advice to people is just to consider that they might. My general advice to people is that people should consider in anything, no matter how strongly you believe something, you should consider that you might be wrong, and you should be willing to think about why you believe what you believe, and not only think about it. As you're thinking about it, also put in mind that you are not as smart as you like to think you are. You might think you are genuinely removing all biases and looking at something objectively, and you actually even might be, but you might not be as logical as you like to think you are. So even without your biases, you might not be able to figure out your fallacies, and you might think about something yourself and it makes complete sense to you, but yet you are wrong. So my point is, you should be willing, like when someone challenges your beliefs, yes, what you think makes sense completely in your head, but just be open to listen to someone challenge that sense you think it makes in your head. And because that's what I see happening so often. People are just so sure that this thing makes so much sense that when another person is talking to them and challenging it, because of how much they are sure that they didn't just, because they think they didn't just take it dogmatically, they think they actually have good reasons.
Yeah.
Because they think that they are not willing to listen to you, because it's almost like, I know I've thought this thing through. It's almost, and the example I gave a pastor I was talking to recently is, I was telling him that even as we were sitting covered in the car, and I was telling him that as we're in this.
Oh man.
Oh, you're back.
So it's cut off until you started the pastor solution.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I don't know if I should still go with that or if you just want to do the closing.
And let me see that. You've already said that you're already giving them the cocoa advice, but so let's just round up because of this network is too shitty. I don't understand what is happening today.
Yeah.
All right, now, so because network will not allow us be, let me thank you for sharing your story with us to the best of your ability. I really enjoyed this conversation, man. Thanks for being the first ex-Muslim. Hopefully more ex-Muslims will be encouraged to reach out. Are you there?
Yeah. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm still here. All right.
The thing they travel.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for
coming.
All right, though.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Same here. Thank you for listening to this episode. Subscribe up Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get podcasts from. Feel free to reach out if you want to share your own deconversion story. We'll work it out when it's convenient for you. Have a great week, and I'll catch you on the next one.